My M20 girlfriend, 19, refuses to take a STD test. My girlfriend wants me to take a STD test before we sleep together for the first time, but she refuses to also take one, even though we slept with almost the same number of people. Does that mean she's hiding something? Never accept different rules or unequal terms in a relationship, that rarely ends well. All or nothing. If she refuses on this, then she will refuse on many other issues, so think about whether you want to deal with that going forward. It means she's hypocritical. I understand the temptation to just let it go since you'll get to sleep with her, but if she's demanding one of you, she should do the same. That's bullshit. Your girlfriend has an STD. That's what it seems like she's hiding. No STD test, no sex is a two-way street. If she's not willing to do something she's making you do, then that should raise tons of red flags. My husband is no longer attracted to me. My 46F husband, 46M, and I are happily married. Early on we had the usual ups and downs, but after 20 plus years we are in a good place. He shared in the past a desire for me to maintain a specific physique, and right now, I'm about 30 pounds overweight. I've dieted for many years and have fluctuated +/40 pounds since having children. But in the last couple of years I've struggled to shed the last 20 to 30 pounds. While we have a pretty robust sex life, 2 years ago, my husband confessed that he doesn't find me physically attractive with the extra weight and fantasizes about being with someone with a better physique. I was extremely hurt, but I poured my energy into working out more, getting a personal trainer and starting with a medical weight loss clinic. I'm perimenopausal and had surgery around the same time he told me this, so I think there may be hormonal issues limiting my progress. Despite my efforts, there is little change, and my husband keeps making subtle hints about fasting or other weight loss strategies. I know looks are important to my husband, but I'm exhausted and hungry all the time. I love him and want to make things work, but I don't want him to be miserable with me since my weight is such an issue for him. I need advice on how to best communicate to my husband that I'm not the same person I was 20 plus years ago, and I'm not sure I can get that physique back, but I love him just the same. Edit, I've never been so grateful for a group of strangers in my entire life. Your advice and feedback are so helpful and heartwarming. I'm trying to respond to everyone, but I will say you all have given some great jumping off points for my conversation with my husband and future therapists. I was feeling incredibly low last night when I posted, but all day I've been getting these reminders of how valuable I am. Surely if strangers can see that. And many, many thanks for the hugs and silver. I have 60-plus-year-old co-worker that's been married since they were 17 and 18. They both shut each other down in these arguments. You don't look the same since we got married. Yeah, well, neither do you. Fair enough. End of discussion. Did he think you were going to look 20 years old forever? Does he think he can get a 20-year-old today with that attitude? Question mark. His midlife crisis isn't your problem. Please don't hurt your body to try to please him. You shouldn't set yourself on fire to keep him warm. There's something wrong in himself somewhere, and he's trying to place the blame on you, so it won't be his fault that his life isn't sparkles. Perfect, sparkles. It's not you. It's not your fault. If your best friend came to you crying saying her husband said THT exact same things your husband is saying to you, what would you tell her to do? I mean, it doesn't sound like happily married to me. You sound miserable. Tell him you'd like to have a discussion because some of his attitudes towards you are causing you unhappiness. He should be able to in some part relate, because I imagine he's not the specimen he was 20 years ago. His expectations are unrealistic. Here is the thing I don't like. Every time I see posts like this, I get it that you want attraction in your relationships. Of course you do. But am I supposed to be hot when I'm 87? Fucking hope not. At almost 50 he should be old enough to know that you're not going to be able to maintain any physique as time goes on. Not the one he wants, and not even one you want. You're going to get old. It's inevitable. I don't hold it against people in their 20s trying to get their partner healthy, that I understand, but man, At what point in life do I get to stop caring if I am sexy or not? I don't mean to say 50 is old, not at all, I just mean surely after all those years 20 pounds can't matter, right? It has to be deeper than if looking at me gives you an instaboner. If it isn't, then there is no point as far as I'm concerned. Edit: I'm not using you to mean actual you op, I mean a hypothetical person, or your husband. Up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, this is how I feel. I'm perimenopausal and had surgery around the same time he told me this. Wow, your husband is the master at timing. Could not pick a shittier time to tell you this. When people do shit like this, it's normally because they lack basic empathy. I need advice on how to best communicate. You don't need advice on how to communicate. He does. Good point. Lol. Your husband is a dickhead. As we age, males naturally lose their vigor. He's blaming you, whereas he should admit he just can't get it up anymore. Personally, I am 49, have had decreased libido for some time, exacerbated by medication. I don't hold my partner responsible for that. She is also perimenopausal. Instead, we've changed how often, and how, we have sex. We use more fantasy, erotic fiction, and lube. I'd still rather be blasting my lightened load into her than any other human being on the planet, because I love her, every bit of her, including her slightly thicker thighs. And I would never mention her slightly thicker thighs to her. Don't live to bring our loved ones down, but lift them up. Menopause is hard, and she needs all the support she can get. She doesn't Reddit, so I'm safe she won't see my comment about slightly thickened thighs. I would never want her to hear that. This made me laugh and warmed my heart. Thank you. I appreciate this perspective because I didn't perceive it as a dysfunction on my husband's part. I'm feeling foolish now for internalizing what may be partly his issue. Another commenter did mention sex therapy, which I'm looking into. Suspecting my little sister, 16F, who's paralyzed from the waist down, is being abused. I, F21, moved out late October 2020. My place is very close to my family home and I visit a lot. During my latest visits I've started to notice my sister's distress when someone gets close her anyone. She has her arms crossed and an angry face on, hoodies that hide her body, angry outbursts, everything seems wrong. Also automatically raises her arms and covers her face, protect herself, if I raised my hand to high-five her or made any sudden movements. It's a response she never had before, so she must have experienced something for her body to react this way. Also when I kiss her, like on her cheek normally, the moment my face gets close to hers she closes her eyes really hard, like she doesn't want to see it or live the moment of it. Little details like this. Also she's talking way less. Usually she's the life of the house and now she's just silent. My mom and younger brother 13 along with an occasional helper, are young women. I think she's around 18, are the only ones around her. Asked her if someone bothered her or hurt her and she said no, but I don't buy it. I know my sister. I practically raised her. Our mom is negligent of her special needs and doesn't pay that much attention to anyone but herself in general. I have this pit in my stomach. I don't feel good about this. Something is wrong and I don't know what I'm supposed to do considering I have no proof or information, who or where or what. She won't talk. I need advice. Asked her multiple times, silence or a loud no. Her condition makes her extremely vulnerable to this kind of stuff and I'm worried about her. How do I extract information out of her? First thought, cam or microphone. Be aware though, that is also a breach of her privacy, and / or maybe others. Do you have anyone you trust enough to keep an eye on her when no one else is looking? Might be expensive, but have you thought about a pie? Does your sister go to school, or something similar, or does she stay at home? Anybody who might be hurting her outside of the house? Also, breach of privacy. But if she does have a PC, have you thought about installing a keylogger or something? Might also be online. Is your little brother the only male in the house? If so, maybe keep an eye on him. Little brothers can be a / holes too. Also, if she does not want to tell about it, it might be related to someone you know who either has some leverage against her or what might hurt someone else close to you, both. In general, if you talk to her again about it, make it absolutely clear that you care for her a lot and that you will be devastated if something happens to her. Do not try to force her into a confession, but reassure her that you will always be there for her no matter what you do. Are you really ready to do anything you need to prevent this, such as becoming her guardian, fighting for her in court, testifying against loved ones, or embarrassing her? If so, talk to a lawyer about what steps you can take that will hold up in court. Hire a private investigator if possible. If you don't feel you can take all that on, as sad as it is, it may be best to stay out of it, as it really could make it worse for your sister. I hope you're ready to fight for her though, as no one deserves that. The scary thing to keep in mind though is there is a possibility that your mom or brother are the ones doing this, so be careful what you reveal to them in the meantime. As a disabled individual whose mother mostly ignores my mental illness and its health, thank you. My son is severely handicapped physically and mentally. This story is what my nightmares are made of. God bless you for being an advocate for your sister. It sounds like communication is not great in your family. My first thought is to ask your brother for help since your mom sucks. Is there a chance he's hurting your sister? My guess is the woman coming in to help. The easiest way to investigate is to be around when this person arrives and observe your sister's reaction. Then you can narrow your response because it will change depending on what you find. I hope it's a phase your sister is going through, but fear you are right. Install some cameras. See if stuff is actually happening.